watched all the Python stuff with them. That was really interesting when I did that Python gig in HBO thing. Just watching all these sketches going by, some which you hadn't seen for a few years. All of it. So there's all the Pythons watching 12 minutes worth of sketches going by.
What, it's just a shot of you watching the Pythons?
No. It was like they were doing the benefit. They've all got together in Aspen, right? All of them on stage, and Graham Chapman's Ashes in an Urn.
Yeah.
He wasn't in Ashes in an Urn?
Well, this was HBO thinking, let's do something really clever. We'll have an urn brought out. And they were trying to do it as a solemn
gag?
No, it was kind of a gag, but it was more solemn than a gag. And we were in this meeting, I really didn't want to do that show. I just hated the idea of us all, these old men getting together and being fated. And this idea of the Graham being brought out in an urn, and we're all supposed to play along with this idea. And so I came up with this thought that, well, can I kick it over at some point in the show?
Or sneeze and it all blows all over.
Well, that's I kicked it over. I mean, I kicked it over.
You kicked it over. It was
it was one of the best sounds from the audience I've ever heard in my life.
I wasn't bloody watching, and I heard it. It was like enormous.
But the noise, it was like two things. You were both, it was like, maybe the Big Bang was like this, because people were shocked, and so they're inhaling, and they were laughing at the same time, if that's possible, which is an exhale. The noise was, the moment was extraordinary. You know, I'm going to leap to Lenny, because that night we were there watching it, when you said, are there any niggers in the audience?
Yeah.
You said that?
Well, this is Lenny Bruce. I mean, he's not him. He's a decent guy.
Okay.
He would never, ever
say
these words. Yes, he's Scandinavians, maybe, possibly. No, but
this was a Lenny Bruce bit.
Lenny Bruce. So it was Lenny did it. Lenny is guilty, and Lenny will burn in hell for this.
No, it was a good piece. Because
it was a brilliant moment, but what's so interesting in the play, which, at the time, when some of us are old enough who saw the man alive, but you turn up the lights in the theater, and the audience is decent theater-going people who've paid good money, and he says this, and I've never seen people shrink more. And then he said, say the word. I mean, people are terrified of saying the word, and it's kind of interesting, because Lenny was all about trying to get people to say the word, so it takes the power out of it. But the power is still there. Yeah, and it's an extraordinary moment.
But the black people have reclaimed it. It was the fact that, if you say the word enough, then it would become a meaningless word. And black people have sort of reclaimed that word so that they can use it, like gay people.
It's hard to put in a song, though. It's hard to rhyme it, I found.
Is it? What songs do you do?
Well,
well known for your songs. Sorry, Ruby. I don't know your your work. I don't know.
Trying to bring it back to me. Cigar, I thought.
Cigar. Yeah.
I'm so off the air. I can't believe it.
but it's an extraordinary.
David's got his head back.
The only time we did something.
You're doing well when your producers got their head in the chicken enchilada.
Because we tried to
do.
We stole from Lenny in Life of Brian, where Brian, when he learns that his father's a Roman, and he's supposed to be Jewish, and he does that long speech about I'm a kike, a hook-nose, a Red Sea pedestrian. It goes on every derogatory word for a Jew, and I'm proud of it. And he walks out, and that was our kind of tribute to Lenny Bruce.
Oh, right.
Do you get pissed off when people copy you?
Oh, no.
You don't? No. I would. I mean, don't you get like, I was there for, you could turn bitter.
No, because they've made their stand, and everything will be measured against them.
No, but even that. But even that. I mean, I think what's wrong is that Python is like, okay, whoa, big stuff. Spike Milligan. There was a whole. I mean, we're part of it. We're all. It's the continuity that I think gets constantly being stopped because it's not good for business.
But being from America, we didn't know about Spike Milligan, nor did we know about the Goons.
That's why I came here, because the Goons, the running, jumping, standing.
That's why you came?
It was one of the reasons.
Because of the Goons?
I loved Ealing comedies and the Goons.
How did you know about the Goons? The tapes came out?
On radio, on FM radio. They were playing the Goons, and I said, this is extraordinary stuff. Like, nothing like that existed in America. So
you didn't like Jerry Lewis?
I did, actually. When I was younger, I did. Can I mention names again and places?
You met Dean Martin?
No, I met Jerry Lewis.
Saw him on television.
I didn't. In Cannes, that very famous place. We were there with Meaning of Life, and Terry Jones was up doing an interview because nobody was talking to me. So Terry's doing an interview at the Carlton. I'm in the Carlton Terrace, of course. And and he's running down with a camera crew behind him, and he's just being silly, and that's this wonderful thing about performing, when one is so taken by the spirit, if we can talk like that, you're obsessed by whatever it is you're doing. And he's running around grabbing people saying, who Qui est Monty Python? Monty Python. Qui est Monty Python? Qui est Monty Python? Who is Monty Python? Who? And all these French people, and they're just like, and he grabs me, and he doesn't recognize me, his best friend, with half his name, and he doesn't. Qui est Monty Python? Oh, and I said, oh, Monty Python. Oh, oh, and I started taking my trousers down. Oh, wait, and we're doing this, and the camera's on us, and I feel this heat behind me, this volcano, this seething mass of just hatred and heat. And I turn around, and it's Jerry Lewis. And he's there. And the camera isn't on him. He doesn't know who these idiots, assholes are that are standing in front of him. And he hates us because we're in his way and nobody's looking at him. I just felt it. It was like awful.
You know why he was angry? I mean, it wasn't just that it's the next thing. I think some comedy is so like, it's like the devil, you know, it's like a Milton Berle kind of comedy where it's like, hey, my mother-in-law, and you see it in the eyes, you know, like Bernard meant, there's an ugliness to it. Yeah. Or else, and they're divided between, I've never said this, but like angels are, like when you're doing it, you're kind of free, it's freedom. And other ones, you'd see people in hell, like they're restricted to those lines or they're restricted to that attitude. And you know, you see it in New York when they come on stage, and I feel their pain. I can't laugh when they go, anybody been on a date lately? Yeah. And you think it's just about vomiting bile, whereas. And the prisoners
the
of
evangelical
Jerry
baptism
Lewis
is what he's about.
Yeah, Jerry Lewis is captured till he's 75, going, you know, and God said, you will be in hell, you will make a fortune, Dean will die, and you will be cursed to do this ludicrous, moronic.
Only one nation in the world respects him.
France! Let them eat France!
The only thing I'd say is that you know, some people do comedy to people to get the laughs. I do it to myself in order to make myself laugh, and hopefully they get it, because I like talking crap.
Yeah.
Endless crap. I can really get off my face and do it to myself in a very sad way. It's really enormously sad and quite cathartic. So the minute this is between sadness and hugely healthy, they're really close to each other.
But if you're in touch with your sadness.
It's not even sadness.
No,
it's
it's
just
not, like your nerdness. You know, it's like,
but
it's a kid entertaining himself, and that's like pure joy. It's not about somebody spewing how angry they are that they're fat.
That was my theory with Python when we were about to finish. I really thought the last series would be so boring because up till then we'd been surprising. People tuned in to be surprised. I thought, let's just be really dull and do about 3 or 4 shows that are just abominably dull. So people start switch off by the millions. And suddenly there's only 2 people watching. And then we do the best show we've ever done in our lives. And the word, oh my, did you see it? No. And the word just spreads out. That's what I wanted to do, but nobody bought the show.
Yeah, it's tricky because you've got to...
Your career would have hit the skids.
Yeah, you're fucking...
It has, don't worry about that.
You're fucking with
do you do that on purpose now?
Are you talking about my last film? Is that what you're really talking about? In some bitchy American way?
You think, let's do a film which isn't going to work.
Nobody's going to... I mean,
nobody's going to watch it.
We spend millions...
To take Johnny Depp and make him bald.
No, it's kind of interesting. We've ended up making an underground film without any thought. Which is kind of what I wanted to do. I mean, it's trying to break down the industry that we're all part of, which is very effective. Very good.
Does breakdown mean make a flop? Just give me the translation.
You're so
no, but
bitter.
I think you're a genius, but you could do, my son, you could make a film, or you could do the next Mary Poppins, but no, you choose this drug addict.
Everything we live in now is about immediate success. So, you know, we see it, we put it in our mouth. Everything has to be immediate. The success rate is only measured in nanoseconds, not in years. You know, like the Russians at least had 5-year plans. The Chinese did as well.
I mean, a number of people have 5-year plans. I had 5-year plans, just because Stalin did. No, I just, the number of years doesn't really matter in the plan.
What's your plan?
It was to do other stuff.
Like?
I don't know, different than what I was doing. Well, initially it was just to get out of the 80s because it was completely shit.
Do you feel you need to have the adoration of America?
No, I don't like being... Why
do you go there then rather than New Zealand?
Because it's got all the juice there. It's got 80% of the world's media.
What word? I heard that as well.
It has the power, yeah?
He said juice.
And I don't like the idea...
But a corrupt power.
Well, no, I'm talking about pure naked power of Hollywood thing.
America is interesting because it has the power, it has the machinery, it has the distribution methods, it has all of those things, and yet it has no ideas. There are no ideas left there. I mean... Did
you know this as a kid when you rebelled and said, I'm out of here? Because I smelt it early.
Yeah, I think I did.
Did you smell it early?
No, mine was more about, I felt being an American, I was part of the most powerful nation on the planet, and I felt a certain responsibility, and I felt I couldn't live in America and deal with that. But if I lived in